Why, yes, that is a radiator sitting on the ground. How nice of you to notice. Hoo boy. You know, in some aspects it was a little more complicated than what I thought it would be, but in other aspects, that went a little easier than I thought it would too after I got it started. Could not for the life of me get this itty bitty guy off, because I wanted to just pound the steering shaft back, get that off, move it back and lift straight up. Well, that wasn't coming off. Plan B. Lift up and twist and maneuver and all that crap to get it off. And the reason I had such problems is these main studs broke off. So, you can't lift them up but that far. And so they were catching in the frame and all that crap. Yeah, you can't even see the bottom in there. I'm going to have to drill those out to make sure they're good and clear. So, that's tonight's work. That's actually all I really set out to do tonight. Because I'm going to go ahead and take the whole thing apart and clean it and all that jazz. I'm not really looking forward to it because I've had a lot break off on me. A lot have already broken off on me. Mostly the ones up here. You can see some missing. Yeah, those 9 times out of 10, those actually broke off on me. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet. These are just, they're old and rusty. And honestly, I've already checked a lot of these bolts on here, nuts and bolts, within the first couple days of me getting this, because I wanted to see how bad a lot of these were going to be. I'd probably say 95% of what's already on here isn't bad to remove at all. Some of them are a little stiff, but they're all mostly free. These are free. I can get a wrench on those and turn them. Everything on the engine is free. Everything on the axles are pretty well free. It's just the radiator. And I figured, the head's in the shop right now. I have to get this apart to clean it out. And it's like, what? If I'm going to take it that far, I'm probably just going to rebuild it. I'm going to get new gaskets. Make sure that the tanks aren't cracked. I may send the core off to get cleaned. And, if there's any little holes or anything, get those repaired if it can be. I think these are the oval tube cores. It's not the round tube. I've showed you guys that spot up there, but that tube's already been crimped closed. Still not as heavy as the one I pulled off the John Deere B. I've got a video of that, at least I should, on here, on my YouTube account of that, pulling that off. That thing weighs about half as much as the one that I pulled off that John Deere. It's kind of surprising because they're both thermosiphon systems, but that John Deere, the core is probably twice as thick as that one, and the tanks are much larger. So I wonder what the deal with that is. Anyways, so like I said, I'm still taking my time, believe it or not. At least I'm taking my time money-wise. I'm not in a big hurry to spend a bunch of money on this thing. Thought about taking the Magneto to work with me tomorrow. I kind of have to sneak it in. We're busy right now, so I really shouldn't be working on my own stuff, but I really want to try to get this firing. The gentleman I talked to about my carburetor, he said he was probably going to be sending that tomorrow. So I'll have a carburetor. So if I can get fire, fuel, and get the engine put back together, technically it's going to run. Let's see, it's a X4A11, serial number 3440904. Yeah. But as you can see, it's got the base. The base is made to mount on this tractor. Got the grounding strap on it, which I don't really care for. On these old tractors, I prefer to just shut off the fuel and let them die. My lovely garage. Actually, maybe this weekend. I don't know what the plan is, but I may get out here and clean that out. And ask my brother. He just bought a house, and there's a workbench in the garage. Believe it or not, he doesn't want. He'd offered it to me, but then I tried talking him into keeping it, and I think he's going to keep it. But now I may try talking him out of it again. So it'd be really nice to put one on that wall and put all my tractor parts on. Run an extension cord out here and have some light and whatnot to work with. Maybe a radio. Garage used to have power, but this thing's so rotten it's not funny. I mean, it's bad rotten. So, good old backyard. I wasn't lying when I told you I live in the middle of town. But, like they say though, if you spend all your money on tractors, you have no more money to get in trouble with. Can't buy booze, can't buy drugs. Not that I'd want to anyways, but... So, I had mentioned something to some people on Facebook already about this, but I wanted some other opinions. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen ones way worse than this, or you know, this one may be worn. This is the first one I could compare it to. But you can see that's pretty worn. It was cranking fine, I can't complain about it, but I'm just saying it's worn out. So it's kind of one of those things that it's like, well, what do you do? Should I fix that? Is there a way to fix it? I imagine it would involve a lot of fabrication. You probably have to pop those apart and then probably build up the holes with, you know, welding or something like that, and then, you know, drill them back out. And kind of a shame with these old tractors that a lot of what has to be done nowadays is all fabrication and modification to get stuff to work right again, because you can't find parts. You know, not like I can contact Steiner and say, hey, I need a new U-joint for my hand crank. That ain't gonna happen. Yes, I know there's a lot of these still out there, but one of these days there's not going to be. That's kind of depressing. So it'll be less and less by the year to rob parts from. This seems to be in okay shape. It also kind of amazes me how the flat belts stay on these for the fan, which I know that the fan has that flat pulley and it's kind of got the edges on it. I guess that makes sense how it stays on. Here's this little sheet metal plate. Goes under the radiator. You know, all in all, it's not in horrible shape. Okay, it's in pretty bad shape, but it's still thick. It's only rusted out right there. So maybe one of these days I'll get up the nerve to patch it up, or, you know, just that being sheet metal, it really wouldn't be hard to make a template and make a new one of those. So, you know, something like that, it wouldn't be hard to make. But anyways, I'm just rambling now. I just wanted to show you what I did tonight. And now, little by little, I'm going to be taking all this apart. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.